March 2012. I sent an email to Pharmaceuticals requesting the original trial data for Protocol 347, a 1994 study on adolescent depression. Subject line: Data request per ICH transparency guidelines. The study had tested whether their antidepressant, paroxetine, was safe and effective for adolescents aged 12 to 17. Published conclusion: remarkable efficacy and generally well tolerated. That paper had been cited 4,612 times. I was a postdoctoral researcher at a university medical center. Pharmacoepidemiology. My job was analyzing data sets, looking for signals the original studies might have missed. Drug safety patterns years after a medication goes to market. I wasn't trying to challenge anything. I was running a meta-analysis on adolescent antidepressant response rates. I needed raw data from 8 major trials to check for publication bias. Protocol 347 was one of them. Standard methodology. New data transparency policies had just come in. Companies were supposed to share anonymized patient-level data with qualified researchers. It took them 9 months to respond. When the files arrived, they came as a DVD-ROM in a padded envelope. 42,000 pages, case report forms, adverse event logs, investigator notes, statistical analysis plans, all the material underneath the published paper. The published paper reported results from 275 participants. The raw data showed 378 had been enrolled. 103 people were missing from the publication. I went back to the paper. Single sentence in the methods. Participants who did not complete at least 6 weeks of treatment were excluded from efficacy analysis. No breakdown of who these people were. No explanation of why they left. I pulled the discontinuation logs. 63 of the excluded participants had dropped out due to adverse events. Suicidal ideation, akathisia, severe agitation, hostility. The logs were detailed. Dates, severity ratings, investigator assessments of causality. The published paper had a table labeled adverse events: headache, nausea, insomnia, dry mouth. Footnote: rates similar to placebo. The 63 excluded cases were not in that table. I found the statistical analysis plan, the document that's supposed to be locked before you look at any data, so you can't cherry-pick your methods afterward. Original plan, dated 16 months before publication. Intention to treat analysis. Everyone who enrolls gets counted, whether they finish or not. Gold standard. Prevents exactly this kind of selective reporting. The published paper used completer analysis. Only people who finished. There was a second statistical analysis plan in the files. Dated 11 months before publication. Different primary outcome. Different threshold. Switched from intention to treat to completer analysis. The data had been analyzed both ways. I found the tables. Under intention to treat, original plan, everyone counted. Paroxetine did not separate from placebo, not statistically significant. Under completer analysis, published method, excluders removed. Paroxetine showed significant benefit. Same study, same patients. Different answer depending on who you excluded. I wrote it up, documented everything, submitted the paper to the Journal of the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, same journal that published the original trial. The editor sent it out for peer review. 3 of the 4 original authors were still alive. 2 of them Reviewed my manuscript. I didn't know that until later. The journal allows original authors to review challenges to their work. Expert peer review. Both recommended rejection. Methodologically unsound. Failed to account for clinical context. One wrote that excluding patients who don't complete treatment is standard practice to avoid noise in efficacy signals. I revised, responded to every comment, cited the consort guidelines, the standards that say you report everyone who enrolls, not just people who finish. Second round, rejected again. Editor have her original data request letter. She mailed copies to 17 researchers in 1990. My daughter's pediatrician is a good doctor. I believe that. She's thorough. She listens. She's careful with her